Hey, Rich, just before we start, Chris wanted to make sure he emailed you this new memo about 13th Street. He just wanted to make sure, did you get that before we start?
Okay, I wondered, yeah, I did.
Okay,
Cheers. Yep.
okay, perfect. With that, then welcome everyone to a wonderful 9 p.m. meeting of the Philomath City Council on a Wednesday. Today is Wednesday, May 27th. This is a special meeting of the Philomath City Council to discuss plans for 13th Street. Could we start with a roll call?
Teresa Nielsen. Here. Jack Andrade.
Present.
Diane Parker.
Here.
Ray Caseman.
Present.
Spencer Irwin.
Here.
Rich Salsa.
Present.
Christopher McMorrin.
Present. And I know this is a special meeting, so some of our normal rules don't apply, but I think I'm still going to try to hold us to our normal rule of adjourning by 9:30 p.m. So,
Yes, please.
fingers crossed, yes. And you know what? It's really a wash because we didn't have our other meeting this month. So there you go. With that, just as a refresher, this is to just get a little more detail on the Fridays on 13th proposal, which we heard earlier in the month, but was still very much a proposal at that point, sort of a, just a concept, and staff has narrowed it down a little bit and come up with some more details and things for us to discuss. So I don't know, Chris, if you want to walk us through this. I know we haven't really had a chance to read this yet, so maybe. Oh, is there any public comment? Okay, thank you. Seeing none, Chris, would you like to work us through this?
Yeah, so again, just print this off. Apologize for not getting it out to you sooner. I'll probably save time by reading a little bit of this, and so I'll do that where appropriate. I did have some questions I'd like answered tonight and some guidance on how the council would like to proceed, but the body kind of gives you that good information, and the questions come at the end of each of the sections. So to start, how would the city council like to proceed with Fridays on 13th, open streets concept? To close a half block of 13th Street to vehicle traffic and open entirely pedestrian traffic on Friday evening. So open streets programs have been around for a long time. They're popular, especially in really, really big cities, where they'll take like 5 or 6 large city blocks in downtown areas, shut them off to vehicles and let pedestrians come out. They have lots of different activities planned ahead of time. It's typically not an every Friday thing. They usually do it like once a summer, maybe twice a summer, 3 times a summer kind of thing, once a month. And they specifically typically don't have a bunch of outside vendors and stuff come. It's really to focus in and celebrate existing businesses in that location and draw people in there. They also tend to be a little bit more focused on like bicycling and roller skating or rollerblading or whatever. Really kind of there's a bicycle friendly push to them because they're much, much larger. And so I did think I put in there, I referenced a website, Open Streets programs.org or something like that. I'm sorry if I didn't link that in there after I might have deleted it. But there's a pretty good website out there. It's got some references. There's a lot of reference material on them. So some of this information, I didn't pay a lot of attention to voice on this. So sometimes I'm speaking first, sometimes third person. It's because I did copy and paste pretty liberally from their website just to give some background information. So again, car-free events increasingly happen all over the U.S. In Oregon, we see them in Eugene and Bend and Portland, fairly common. I will say not as common in small communities, right? They're just not, because there's not as much need for them apparently on the open street cycling friendly aspect of it. What I'm talking about and my push for this under the shared vision, section 1, is less about the cycle friendly health wellness aspect and more about economic development, community building, and just kind of that togetherness aspect. So I'm going to read a little of this. One of the recommendations from this website to have that shared vision, define our vision, goals for the project. I say, I believe Fridays on 13th Street will transform downtown Philomath into a welcoming gathering space where residents can reconnect with neighbors, support local business, enjoy a relaxed evening close to home. By creating a safe, family-friendly atmosphere filled with conversation, activity, community spirit, the event will strengthen local pride, encourage more residents to spend their Friday nights in Philomath rather than Corvallis or elsewhere. Over time, Fridays on 13th will help build a more vibrant downtown economy while fostering the sense of belonging and connection that makes Philomath a special place to live. I didn't copy that, I wrote that. In short, I believe an appropriate vision could be something to the effect of Fridays on 13th Street will foster vibrant downtown where Philomath residents gather, support local businesses, build community, and celebrate the connections that make Philomath a great place to live. First question to the council: does the council have any additional thoughts about the vision for this effort or specific recommendations on changes to the proposed vision statement? And I have no pretense that I nailed it on the first time, so I'm really open to what am I missing? What are your thoughts as you've thought about this concept that I pitched about a month ago? I'm happy to get your thoughts at that level.
No, I mean, I respect.
I forgot I
I
was chairing this meeting.
I would love to focus pretty heavily on just like community connection, like kind of make it low pressure and not. I think the other aspects will come relatively naturally, like if you have a place where people can hang out and eat. I would say that like telling the local businesses that our hope is that we're gonna have an increased presence in this area on Friday evenings and making maybe steps to facilitate that, whatever that looks like I don't know, like making it so there's a way to serve food out to the outside easier, or I don't know, maybe I want whatever some fat kitty teriyaki, maybe he can bring the cart down, like a way to help those, like facilitate a more, but primarily with the focus on, I actually think that's the part that you nailed for me, is the focused on simple community connection events over a lot of hype and marketing and et cetera.
Thank you.
Counselor Crocker.
Comment that we might need additional police presence just in the neighborhood, not right there, but just until we get the feel and see that everything goes smoothly. And I have read some of the online chatter about this, and I'm kind of thinking maybe twice a month if we did like the odd Fridays, because the 13th is an odd number.
Hold that thought, because we'll get to that. That's another question coming up.
Oh.
I know you haven't read it yet.
Oh, yeah, I have read it.
Yeah,
That's why I
hold that
wrote it again. I did read ahead, sorry.
That's okay.
I think the location is great.
Yeah, I really like what you have written here for the vision. Thinking about our inclusivity committee conversation yesterday, I mean, it's more or less implied, but perhaps having something explicitly stating, just that everyone's welcome and that we're, celebrating our diversity as well as what we have in common, and such. I don't know if you have any thoughts or.
We threw out ideas, and
Yeah.
one was to have some signs made that say welcome in several different languages, so people would at least kind of feel a tie-in if they saw their language. And then I think we talked about getting little postcards that were colorful, and they could each write their own language, welcome, English, Spanish, whatever it is. And then we could make almost like a quilted, put the postcards together and laminate them and then post them up.
Yeah, there were a lot of really cool ideas, but that we talked about, and I think that I guess incorporating that into the vision. I don't know if we're agreeing on a vision statement or just ideas of like what we are
Just
looking
conceptually,
for. Gotcha.
We can fancy up the vision statement itself,
Okay.
but just more, are we kind of on the same page?
Yeah, just wanting to make sure that we can get people in our community who don't necessarily socialize and stuff, as well as those who do socialize, trying to get everyone.
Kind of looking at the, rather than, not to wordsmith it, but rather like build community, which is kind of cliche. Maybe talk more about like welcoming new community members or something like that to kind of get the energy on you.
Exactly, yeah, back to there.
One, and I think it'd be important that it doesn't come off as, sometimes that stuff doesn't sound appealing, especially if you don't really know very many people or have very much funds, or like a street party sounds pretty, like if you go too heavy on that, it has this vibe of being like, oh, I'm not going to that, I'm not going out to dinner tonight, or I'm not, I don't know any of those people, whereas it's like, if it's just like, yeah,
Come meet your neighbors.
yeah, like a quiet gathering thing, it feels more welcoming, and I think I cut off Brent by yelling.
Oh, no, and this is maybe just a bit of wordsmithing and maybe a bit of focus. So I love, obviously, supporting local businesses, but if we're putting it maybe in order, maybe to kind of change the order a little bit, just so that it doesn't come off as a farmer's market or a vendor type of thing. I would say maybe where Philomath residents gather, build community, celebrate connections, support local businesses. Maybe there's even a different way to say that, but maybe you get the point I'm making is, I don't want it to come off like a farmer's market or a vendor site. It's more of like, you're gonna get in it, maybe someone can bring a card table and play board games. I'm gonna bring a hacky sack. I'm gonna start a hacky sack circle, type of thing. So put the hacky sack in there, Chris.
Never die.
You heck,
Add that to the
is
party.
that a thing? Is that?
Yeah.
It's back,
Can
it's
be.
back.
Want to be at the PYAC carnival in the middle there, so.
Okay. Yeah, I think just, we should probably move on from the vision statement.
Okay, yeah, we got it.
Yes, we are still on one.
Space, we kind of looked at this, I got a couple maps. I think I talked a lot in detail on this before. I think the added detail here is that we are looking at maybe some bollards that could go on the ground on a more permanent basis, maybe some that drop down in the ground and would come back up. Just, there's two concerns. One is we want visibly for there to be a separation of the street so people don't like, whoops. But also physically, we want the chief Gursky, I think, in his infinite wisdom, is talking about actual physical constraints that would keep a vehicle from entering this pedestrian space. And so we're looking at bollards, we're looking at some different options there. In the immediate, like right now, like if we're doing this 1st of June, the concept would be to just have, I think I have this on the back page. I'll hit it now because there's space. Would be to just park a public works vehicle there. We'll throw some barricades in the back of the truck. On Friday night before Public Works goes home, the last thing they'll do is they'll pull in there, they'll put out the barricades, they'll park the truck in the intersection, like sideways, right? So physical barrier, visual barrier in front of that with the bright barricade sign, street closed, event in progress stuff. And we would do that on Main Street, and we do it just south of the alley as well. So we'd actually create both a physical and a visible barrier there at really no cost other than having Public Works run a few staff over there, park the trucks and run back to Public Works yard. So that's kind of my interim quick fix on making that work.
How did the trucks leave?
Your city manager is gonna get them back at night. Or other.
Well, this idea maybe isn't as good, but if we could also use it as a community engagement opportunity to maybe have somebody from the police department
Yeah,
as one of those barriers, or the fire department, which is a lot more cooperative, and I don't know that they're gonna let you drive the truck, but if they do.
that's the problem. I can't get a police vehicle back. I can get
Yeah.
a Public Works vehicle back.
Yeah.
You think city manager, I can do whatever I want. Police cars.
Yeah. Apparently.
I could see opening up a police and or fire for kids to
Yeah.
come in and look in, and it would be much more fun to do that than
And
just.
maybe that's what we want,
Yeah.
documented,
Yeah.
happening one night, and maybe they go home early and we just leave, I don't know.
So we've heard concerns about, and I appreciate
Yeah.
feedback, again, kind of working plan, but
Yeah.
I get visual and like physical barrier, and I think that's important. And I think we can handle that a couple different ways. We've heard some chatter as well from some of the neighborhood, I think probably College Street, and maybe further north 13th, about the impact it would have on them.
I think there was something in the pocket.
There was a comment, yeah. And I don't want to be overly dismissive of that. I think my comment in there that is kind of dismissive of that is, yes, if you have the event less often, that'll reduce the negative impacts. but I would argue it's also gonna significantly reduce the positive impacts as well, right? Like, if you want the positive impacts of having community gathering and you do it every week, you're gonna see a much quicker benefit to the community than if you hold it once a month, 3 times in a summer. We'll kind of piddle and we'll get there and we'll look forward to it next year, right? But I think the real benefit of this in Philomath compared to a large event in Portland that happens once a summer is that this would grow and be more organic and kind of community built and word of mouth spreading and, just a less of it's a once a month big community event to, we're just gonna go hang out on Friday night and there might be some cool stuff to do there. So I really like the idea of the Fridays. I did get confirmation from Citizens Bank that they're gonna open up their parking lot. So we're gonna lose like 8 parking spaces on that area between next to Dizzy Hen and next to Dirt Road, but we're gonna gain 28 spaces, I think it was, or 20, what are my numbers? I have it in here.
Well, that manager, he's pretty okay in my book.
Yeah, let them know we appreciate that.
Parking in front, Anyway, so
Like what is.
we'll have a net gain, 8 parking spaces left, and they gain 19 spaces, sorry.
Yeah, 28, I was like,
Yeah, 19 spaces, one of which is ADA.
subdivided.
Net positive in parking, and that's not after everybody that's coming down there, but we have parking on Main Street, we'll have new parking on 12th and 11th Street soon, so I get that there may be some negative impact on folks, but honestly, I would just invite them to come down and celebrate and come hang out with us, right? It's like, and they are public streets, it's not like they're gonna be on private property, it's gonna be on a public street in front of somebody's house for 2 to 3 hours on Friday night.
Can I also just, with respect to the the message we got about that, I think I also want to make clear that like this is not a proposal to do the dirt road block party every week or however often we do it. I think that there was a little concern there, like it'd be super loud amplified music and a bunch of drunk people stumbling everywhere,
Late hours.
thousands of people. Like it's not that, I mean, it'd be cool if there was that much interest, but this is supposed to be more of a low key, like, come hang out with friends, come and go, and it's not we're not gonna have a big stage with, huge amplified. Just to make that clear, I think a lot of the concerns I was reading in here were, it felt like they were worried it would be the same thing at their roadblock party all the time, and that's not the intent. It's supposed to be more of a, I mean, if anyone's gone to like open streets in Corvallis, yeah, maybe some guys like playing the guitar in the corner, but it's not like, yeah. It's not like a concert.
Yeah, so without talking too much about frequency, as far as just location wise, does the council have any concerns about this location kind of in general, doing the half a block? I mean, if it grows and it gets popular, maybe we go the full block at some point. But again, I think that we take it as it goes. I think to start, the expectation would be that half block's plenty of room for quite a few people.
The only thing I promised I would bring up with this, sorry, is I got a message from someone who was concerned that we're sort of putting all of our chips in one basket at 13th Street, and sort of what about businesses that aren't on 13th Street, which I think is a valid consideration. And my response in part to them was like that the city owns 13th Street, and it is probably the most gathering place that the city owns. They had suggested like, oh, you could do it like in the parking lot at like Vinwood and Ixtapa, and I was like, sure, I mean, that's a privately owned parking, they could do that right now anyway if they wanted to. And I did offer, and I think this is what I maybe wanted to check with people, like if the city has, foosball, not foosball, what's it called? Cornhole. Or, an outdoor movie screen or something, like if some other community group wanted to use any of that, I'm sure we'd be happy to, lend that out and help.
Rent it out.
But yeah, so just to say, I just wanted to flag, because I promised to bring that here, just to flag to you all that I think
That was a
is a
good
little
answer.
concern. Yes, Councilor Crocker.
Have you run this by Dirt Road or Dizzy Hen?
Yes.
And are they in support?
They're Dizzy Hen's concerned. They were excited about it. They were concerned about public restrooms, so I have on the note there, we would be providing a restroom. I have some costs in there that we can talk about. So their concern is they didn't want to be the public restroom for everybody, which I totally get. Their comment, I don't want to speak too much, was kind of like, we're already busy Friday night, like this is cool, but like, we're good.
It's not gonna help us, yeah.
They weren't opposed to it at all, but they were kind of like, it's not like we need a ton more people on Friday night. So, but he was very positive about it. Like, yeah, no, that sounds good. Just had some concerns. And the restroom was his big one. And I said, what if we paid you to let people use the restroom? He's like, nah,
Explain
we
it.
got our patrons in there and they're the ones using the restroom. And so anyway, and I was like, fair enough. Dirt Road, I reached out, initially talked to them about maybe helping with barricades and stuff as like a volunteer, like, hey, we're gonna help bring more people. That helps with your sales. Could you help maybe put barricades away? And the response back was, we're not really interested. We don't have the staffing power to really do that in the evening and stuff. I haven't had other more general conversations about just doing it. It was more like, we're not really wanting to participate with like helping take down barricades and stuff. But I've known Chuck a long time. And I mean, he's building that new brewery there. It's gonna have outdoor front, porch seating and that kind of stuff. He's done the Dirt Road Festival there, and I can't imagine he's gonna have objections to it, so. I have not walked Main Street and talked to the businesses along there about maybe staying open on Friday nights or doing specials or anything. I intend to put a little handout thing together when we have a little more details and get that out to them before it goes, so.
Is there a chance to bring in tables and chairs, just even a few, so people can sit around and have something to eat or drink and just talk?
Yeah, I don't
Games?
want to commit to doing that like every week, but I think definitely like first week and kind of see what happens. Yeah, again, I'm hoping that the businesses there will kind of help support that too, but we'll see.
Just if we're gonna have some of the like barricades in front of the public works truck, just with some of the feedback we got maybe from the Wilmington Community Network meeting, could one of them maybe just say like access to North 13th Street off of 12th or whatever, like just it pays people trying to get around. Or,
Yeah, like a detour.
yeah, just something like just in case someone's like, oh no, I can't get to the northern half of town. They can.
Maybe who lives here would know, but yeah.
I know. Well, they just
We, maybe we're a visitor.
Okay, anything else on 13th Street specific? We can kind of circle back to, but I want to know,
yeah,
be quicker with time. So regular frequency was kind of like one of their main points as well. So some of this again is quoting from the website. Ensure the program takes place with predictable regularity, just as important as ensuring the route stays consistent. There was earlier talk on the website about moving from spot to spot to spot, and they recommend just have a spot, make it work, With predictable regularity, participants are able to plan their attendance in advance. This is me. I initially recommended holding the open streets events every Friday, June, July, and August for 13 events. Some members of the community have suggested holding events just once a month, limit adverse impacts. And then there's a whole section here advocating for more regular than once a month, to be completely transparent. A number of factors should be weighed, including some financial costs, which we'll look at, compelling reasons for multiple program dates. Want to send the message right from the get-go that you're building a community program, not just an event. I liked that language. And to me, it kind of goes to me, if this is successful, which I think it has potential to be very successful, it really is going to help identify who we are as Philomath, right? I mean, this could be like a known thing that Philomath becomes known for, is doing Fridays on 13th Street. And it becomes kind of part of our personality and our persona of who we are, as opposed to doing a couple events a year. It's going to be tougher to personify us in that way. So I kind of like that language. They spread through word of mouth, so it kind of needs time to build up again, get it more consistent. Weather is kind of a factor always in Oregon. Again, we plan a big event, we have bad weather. Oh, well, or that's really, really bad. You got 13 events and you have 1 or 2 weeks where the weather's not good. It's like, yeah, it's okay. We got fewer turnout and we'll do it again next week. And I think the last one here is multiple dates gives opportunity to get that kinks, especially where again, I'm not wanting to put 6 months of planning into this one event, right? I'm very open to learning as we do this and growing as we go. And that just is going to take some consistency to figure out what the problems and the kinks are. So I like that concept a little more. I definitely would advocate for that a little bit more. I put in there, obviously easier on staff to do it just once a month or so. But the positive impacts would be reduced. So really, again, honest feedback. I've obviously got a bias here, but I am interested in feedback on what you think about having it more consistent every week or reducing it down to once or twice a month.
The thought I had that I think I shared with Chris at some point was, and I'm curious what you guys think of maybe doing it every other week for the weeks that don't have a music in the park, so that there's always some sort of city gathering
We don't want to.
concept that's,
Oh,
yeah.
we wouldn't, because Friday nights.
Yeah, it's not on the
Yeah.
same night, but just, because Music in the Park is like alternating Thursdays and Sundays, I think. So then on the weeks where there's not a Music in the Park, we would have Fridays. So there's, every week, there's some kind of fun outdoor community gathering over the summer, but it wouldn't necessarily, because then I think the thing that got me too is like, that means some weeks there would be Music in the Park, Fridays on 13th, Farmers Market, like all like within a few days of each other, which is great. It just, I think I like the idea of doing it every week. I just think maybe it'd be like a next year, like I would prefer to maybe start out by doing it kind of on those off weeks and then, we can ramp it up from there.
I agree on the off weeks. I think if people realize it is somewhat limited, they might make more of an effort to show up on the times they're offered rather than, oh, I can do it next week and just put it off. But
Well, we can use the early ones as an opportunity for engagement, because it probably won't be heavily attended, and so those of us that showed up to,
we bring all of
Support
our
it.
children and
okay, yeah, I'll bring all
grandchildren.
my kids.
Me too.
Yeah, you. And then, but then we can, ask, I mean, anybody that does come, like, hey,
Yeah.
why'd you come? What are you
Yeah,
looking
yeah.
for? What can we do that's interesting for the next one? Like,
Yeah.
hopefully then also people be like, yeah, I really like to.
I'm also concerned that one porta potty might not be enough. Well, I mean, we need to.
It will be the first one.
We need to realize that we have to do two somewhere down the road for budgeting purposes or whatever.
Sure. Sorry, did you have more, or Councilor Johnny?
Do we have all of the Music in the Park shows scheduled?
Yeah.
Okay, so, and they're on, I guess, sorry, I was trying to look at it on the website and I was just trying to figure out whether or not the Sundays corresponded with the Wednesdays or not, but anyway. I just wanted to bring up regarding engagement, we also had a conversation with the Inclusivity Committee about potentially getting feedback and stuff, and whether or not that's like with the Inclusivity Committee agreeing to come out and like do stuff. It could be something that, I think someone had said, have a question about like, what's your favorite thing in Philomath? So it's both like a conversation starter as well as getting feedback about what people really love or things they'd like improved or ideas they might have and such. So.
And
Icebreakers.
senior.
Yeah. Oh, no, yeah.
No, he's got his hand raised.
There's pros and cons. It's not. Very comfortable. Pros and cons to each of them, but I do think there is something to the weekly cycle that kind of gets it into everyone's internal calendar. And then the branding is Fridays on 13th, so I think there is something about it's every Friday, that's the thing. So there's pros and cons to all of it, of course, but I think if to really get into people's calendars, there is something to the weekly cycle.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I was talking to, okay, go ahead.
Oh, 2 minutes. Yes, Councilor Salsa.
Just wanted to let you know that I'm still here.
God.
Yeah, listening in. I kind of have a thought about this. I agree that actually weekly is a good branding ploy because then it's countable. But I also want to kind of understand that if this is going to take something to get up and going, I think that we wait until the like the third weekend, like have it 10 weekends. You want to do 10 Fridays instead of 13? Give us a little breathing room before we actually roll this out. Don't do it in the first Friday of June. Get some advertising going and things like that. Get it up and running. And then like the third Friday in June, kick it off and then go through August. That would be in my mind, that's kind of a good balance. It gives 10 weeks. You know, anyway, that's my input.
Yeah, thanks, Rich. I agree. I talked at one point with Chris about maybe even just waiting and starting like July 1st or something, but
Would be July 3rd.
sure, yeah.
It's not a good idea because it's
No,
the
4th of July.
50th anniversary of your country.
Just saying, moving it off a little bit.
Like the,
Do we have unanimous consent to extend the meeting 5 minutes? Great.
All there's ten.
Councilman Nielsen.
The other day, I'm friends with
Yeah, yes.
does a lot of the activities, and she had an interesting point about weekly activities. She felt there was the word of mouth. It's really grown. What they've been. I mean,
That's great.
the last few years, what happens now at the Grange is totally different than it was 3 years ago. But she mentioned the power of that word of mouth when something's successful, and the patience as you build an event. You know, and the routine of Fridays on 13th will become a part of who we are during the summer months. And I kind of think, I think we get better momentum if we kept it every month. I mean, every week instead of doing first Friday or the first and third or whatever it may be. I think if we really want a chance to build what it can be and make it as advantageous as possible, I'm kind of pro every week. But I do agree with Council talking with Rich about later in the month. Not, I mean, I think that first,
Yeah.
we need a few weeks with
Yeah.
graduations and
Yes,
everything.
yes.
It's just a lot.
Okay.
So I'm
I
all
think
for that.
I'm a week or two. Fine. The way that I do things is it's either really, really cool and like I make sure that I'm not gonna miss it, or it's probably gonna take me a Friday or two before I'm like, yeah, like, oh yeah, I wanted to hit that up, yeah. And so I think there's something nice about, oh yeah, or we're not doing anything oh, it's Friday, we're not going anywhere, we'll go down.
Oh, but it was last week and it's next week.
Yeah, it's, the restaurant's always open, closed on the day or what, Thursday or whatever day that they don't.
Okay. So just for time, I've heard 3 in favor of weekly. Is that? Okay. So
Weekly, but we'll start the third Friday of June to get through graduations and get some more time to get the word out and.
Okay.
and maybe,
Third Friday.
maybe you don't want to do it July 3rd. I just think
Oh, Juneteenth.
a low.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
that'd
So
be
then,
good. The 13th.
19th is.
and if we're not doing,
Juneteenth.
and there's like events going on.
4th Friday in June,
26.
26th. I think there's much going on that day.
And you want to host one the day before 4th of July? The 3rd, in other words.
I just think we either got to do it every Friday.
Okay.
Same.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna.
Because it's the day before 4th of July, then it's rodeo. So I mean, there's going to be a few.
Yeah.
Issue too.
I think that's.
For some people.
Yeah, I just definitely don't want to do it on only the off weeks. And so I'm glad that, because looking at the way that the music in the park is scheduled, sometimes there's 2 weeks in between.
Yeah.
And other times there's one.
So just to
So
go
what did we do?
starting on June 26th.
Yes.
Okay. Rich, are you good with that? Okay,
Yes.
great. Then the last one before.
Last one, free and accessible participation. Again, keep it simple. And again, we would lean on community partners, et cetera, et cetera. I did say it'd be nice for the city to commit, helping with some of that. We don't have a policy yet, but there's a little bit of money in community engagement, or community supporting community engagement stuff. So if we could commit to like $500 this year to put on a few things, I don't know what they're going to be yet, but I'm just looking at a little bit of money that we could spend in, well, I guess in June we wouldn't need that much money. So depending on how much money we end up
Yeah,
cutting.
sorry, Chris, is
Department.
that $500 total or $500 each week?
For the whole summer.
Oh, for the whole summer, fine, thank you.
So when we chip away at that I'm just thinking some material type stuff. If we do some signs like the inclusivity committee was talking about, maybe we buy, 50 or 100 popsicles for people a day, that kind of stuff. Things that's going to be, $40 here, $60 there. And we won't do something every week, but the weeks that we're doing something, just have a little bit of cash.
Yep.
On hand.
What are the hours you're gonna run?
So Public Works will be shutting the road down at 4:30. I think we'll promote the idea though from 5 to 9:30, I think is what we'll do. Or 5 to 9 even. I think the restaurants close at 9:30. So. Yeah, 5 to 9 works. It's 4 hours. We haven't really set that yet.
We are at our time. Are we extending a few more minutes?
I think we're almost done.
Question regarding the funding.
Okay, let's extend to 9:40.
Good,
Go
thanks.
ahead.
I might have missed it. Did you say the bathroom funds would be besides the 500 or?
Getting down there. I just got 5 more minutes.
Oh, sorry. I
Sorry.
thought it was part of that section.
No, so I talked a little bit about closing that down there for additional measures. Porta pot, checked on that today. Yes, there's no typo there. It's $198. If they have them drop one off on Wednesday, they would come and service it every Wednesday, and for the month, we would pay $198. Or we could order one to get delivered on Friday and have them pick it up on Monday, and they would charge us $205 for the drop off, because it's not their normal route, it's not their whatever. And so, again, if the whole thing was there, if we're gonna do it once a month, or we're gonna do it weekly, if we're gonna do it weekly, it makes sense to just have them drop it, and they'll come service it once a week on Wednesdays. We could put a padlock on it with a code on it, so we're not using it throughout the week, so it's just for the Fridays. We could talk about leaving that open on a Saturday, depending on how busy and how used it gets. But my overall thought is we'll unlock it, Public Works can do the code, unlock it on Friday. Whoever's putting the trucks back or whatever can lock it back up Friday night at the end of the event, and it will just sit there. The city owns a little spot behind Dizzy Hen, between Dizzy Hen and the alleyway. So it's kind of there, but it's there. They keep a dumpster there right now, and there's room for something like that there, so.
The hand washing station.
It comes with, not a hand washing, but it does come with the dispenser, like the sanitizer. So they'll refill that every week.
Not what Brent wanted.
I'll bring some Dawn to.
Go buy something at Dizzy Hand and use their bathroom.
Yeah, I think that sounds great. I was curious, one of the other things that was mentioned in the letter we got, which is maybe more of like the URA discussion, was just like even having additional like trash receptacles or other sort of more like permanent infrastructure improvements. Is that something we could do out of, like even just matching ones that we already have on?
Yeah,
Main
I'll
Street?
look and see. I mean, we've got some stuff there, but yeah, definitely for $1 million. We were looking at benches, garbage
Okay,
receptacles.
okay. Because I know that's also something I've heard from some of the business owners is
Yeah.
wanting,
Yeah.
just even regardless of the Fridays on 13.
Didn't we add some with streetscapes?
There's some like on Main Street there, but not like further down on 13.
13th Street wasn't part of streetscapes officially. We used urban renewal dollars separate to put the street lights and stuff in, part of the ODO project. We had a few benches there because they're on the corner, but we weren't able to go north very far, so.
So did we approve the 500?
Yeah.
We haven't yet.
And are we okay with, it's gonna be about, if we're only doing half of June, I'm probably looking $450, another $500 for a restroom to be there. And I would recommend taking out the same funds, so we'd be looking at about $1,000.
Art fund.
It's
We all chip in.
$1,000 community support.
Yeah, that's appropriate.
Yes, me too.
Okay, is that consensus?
Yes.
So consensus for $1,000 for the summer?
Are you gonna want us to sign up or anything, or be there, or what kind of commitments?
Either if you want to be there. They would do sign up sheets for program, like organizations that want to do activities, so that will go out. But no, otherwise, unless there's like dates the city, I mean, we'll talk with you. If there's dates the city's gonna do stuff, we invite the council to be there. If we want to do the pop-up tent, What's Up Philomath, we can throw that out there as well, because it's informational. Again, both the business and money-wise, they're doing fine on customers and stuff, so we may look at doing a food cart in there. I've talked to a photographer, talked about doing some selfies or being there to do, they could even do our Philomath on 13th or Fridays on 13th logo as like an overlay and do a bunch of photos that they could give to people or email to people or, social media and stuff. So there's some ideas of things we can do. People are just wanting to get their name out there and just do some cool stuff out there, so.
What was the money?
$1,000.
$1,000.
Support Fridays from the community support funds.
No, consensus.
It was.
Some of that, but again, so that will also color a little bit of signage. We'll need to buy some custom signage. We're gonna buy an A-frame for the parking at Citizens Bank. So there's, some of that will be other expenses, but we'll keep it at $1,000.
We are past our extended time, so I think we'll wrap it up there, but thank you very much, Chris, for all the follow-up on this. I'm excited. And hopefully we'll see you all on the 26th. On that note, we will see you all. Our next budget meeting is June 10th, and then our next city council meeting is
June 8th, right?
yes, June 8th. So we'll see you on June 8th. June 10th.
What a
That,
week.
we will adjourn our city council meeting at 9:42 p.m.
Right,